Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the dceu. I'm going to read two articles from two differing publications coming at something from two differing directions. Now, first of all, I want to apologize to Screen Movie Geek. Last night, I read an article and said they are just a small publication that shouldn't be believed. I was wrong about that. Why shouldn't you be believed because you're a smaller publication than Variety? Anyway, I'm going to read both of these articles first, then everything I say, and let's be clear about this, will be opinion-based. So the title of today's DCEU Daily is that Ezra Miller has been fired as the Flash. It's my opinion that he was fired from the Flash a very long time ago. So let's go. This is from Screen Movie Geek. And the journalist who did this article is Frank Palmer. Let's give him some credit. It's an exclusive. Rewind the times. I still always respect your opinion, brother, even if it differs from mine. Right. So exclusive. WB considering replacing Ezra Miller as the Flash with Dylan O'Brien. So it's very important that this journalist, Frank Palmer, is stating that they're considering it. It's not happened already. But I would say that this has already happened. It's one of many major possibilities, in my opinion. As the controversy surrounding actor Ezra Miller continue to add up, many fans are anxious to know what will happen with his character, the Flash. He's a staple of the DCEU, and it was expected that he'd be appearing in many more films in the coming years, but knowing the allegations against Ezra Miller, not to mention several arrests, everyone knows that many other actors have been cancelled for far less, which is a great point. With that in mind, we've learned that Warner Brothers is considering their options when it comes to replacing Ezra Miller. It is unclear how many actors have topped WB's list to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash. However, one such name that a source close to the situation has informed us about is Dylan O'Brien. The 30-year-old actor is known for roles in both television and film, including the MTV series Teen Wolf. He also played the lead character in Love and Monsters, and Matt Smith was in that as well, by the way. Of course, fans had their own picks for who could be the next Flash. One popular choice is actor Grant Gustin. He's an easy choice because he already played a version of the Flash for the CW's Arrowverse. In fact, he still plays him. Having said that, it would potentially also be difficult to transition Grant Gustin from the Arrowverse to the DCEU, though it isn't like those respective continuities haven't already crossed over. In any case, it might be best to go with someone new like Dylan O'Brien for replacing Ezra Miller. How such a change will fit into the DCEU's narrative. With Warner Brothers Discovery eager to have an overhaul of the property, however, there could be any number of changes that would allow it to work. That's the point I'm going to allude to later on. As such, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Ezra Miller and what Warner Brothers' ultimate decision on the matter is. So, a very interesting article, a very short article, gets to the point. I stand by this publication and this journalist. I didn't last night on Monday Night Live. I was disparaging, and I apologize for that. So now, all of a sudden, right, very interesting, by the way, because let's not forget, Screen Movie Geek is a very small publication. So I was shocked to my very core that big publications were denying this little journalists and this little publication's assertions that WB were considering replacing Ezra Miller as the Flash. Normally, this kind of rumor would be ignored. Why aren't they ignoring it? Interesting, right? Ezra Miller arrested. Well, hang on a minute. So this is an article from Variety. But so this is interesting because so there's no article from Variety. This is interesting because Adam B. Vary from Variety has linked a quote tweet to an article where he denies Ezra Miller is being replaced. But the article is an old article about Ezra Miller being arrested for a second time, and not an article dispersing this rumor. So that's interesting. So I thought I was going to read you a denial article from Variety. But this is what Adam B. Vary said about the rumor. I am told that WB is not considering replacing Ezra Miller on The Flash. Miller was arrested twice in Hawaii this year, once for disorderly conduct and harassment, and again for second-degree assault. It is also worth noting that The Flash finished shooting months ago, and Ezra Miller plays multiple versions of Barry Allen. Replacing them would effectively mean reshooting the entire movie. I deleted a previous tweet for misgendering Miller, who identifies as non-binary. I couldn't care less how he identifies, but let's get into this. Isn't it interesting that a Variety journalist is coming to deny an article from such a small journalist, from such a small publication? Why is he doing this? Let me remind you who Adam B. Vary is, and let me remind you who Variety are. This is the same journalist, or maybe not the same journalist, but the same journalist from the same publication who did the Ann Sarnoff interview, the hit piece that said that Zack Snyder's Justice League universe was just a trilogy and there would be no more, and they would not be releasing the air cut of the Suicide Squad. Basically, Variety have got huge connections over at WB Pictures and Toby Emmerich. What I'm going to say to you now is opinion-based. Do you remember when Dylan O'Brien was rumoured to be playing Nightwing? I think even back then, the decision had already been made to fire Ezra Miller. Now, I've been very, very consistent from day one of the Flash movie being delayed. I told you it was suspicious. I told you that something very untoward was going on. I gave you some evidence as well, because I did my Inspector Clouseau, Columbo, Angela Lansbury kind of detective work. And I noticed something that nobody else has called out, that since the delay of the Flash movie, director of that movie, Andy Muschietti, hasn't posted one thing on his Instagram about the delays, about the movie. All we know is that he will be writing and directing an It prequel on HBO Max. That's all we know. So I've been very consistent. Now, we know that there's reshoots going on at Black Adam. Right now, we know this for a fact because The Rock the Dwayne Johnson, can't stop talking about them. That's interesting because normally actors don't brag and boast and publicize reshoots. It's normally something that's kept very secretive. On the week that they probably knew this rumor and this article is happening, they decided to publicize reshoots about the movie. The Black Adam reshoots, in my opinion, are a distraction to distract you from this rumor, from this news. I believe that Ezra Miller has been removed from The Flash. Abraham Herrera, hey Mick, is this confirmed? No, it's not confirmed yet. They're denying it. Adam B. Vary from Variety is denying it. A very small publication called Screen Movie Geek. I read his article last night on Monday Night Live, if you remember rightly, is claiming that WB are looking to replace Ezra Miller with Dylan O'Brien as the Flash. I believe this is true. But as the journalist said, there could be other options here. There could be the option of the cancellation of the movie because Discovery maybe are looking to take down the entirety of the DCEU and starting again and casting a brand new Flash for that universe. That Flash could be Dylan O'Brien. but it may not be Dylan O'Brien at all. That may be a name that publication just plucked out. But considering I'm standing by that publication and that journalist's article, I'm going to say he knows something. Just because someone is not very popular in what they do and hasn't got a lot of clicks and hits and likes doesn't mean they're not telling the truth. Just because I'm a very small, unsuccessful YouTuber doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you remember The Usual Suspects, when no one believed Kevin Spacey's character, a man with a limp, could be Kaiser Soze? Yeah, that's a big lesson in life. Who you believe and who you trust. Why should Variety and Adam B. Vary be trusted? Because they're more famous and he's from a really large, old, long-running publication. So I do believe Ezra Miller is no longer the Flash. I believe he hasn't been the Flash for a very long time. As I've already said, the director, Andy Muschietti, has been very quiet. His sister, who I follow on Instagram, used to at least put something on her story every other day, very consistently. We very rarely see anything anymore. So that's interesting. I believe the decision to sack Ezra Miller was from David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery, not Warner Brothers Pictures, himself. So either they're not making that movie anymore, they're starting again with a brand new universe. But I have another theory, which is also opinion-based. Opinion-based means I'm not talking facts, I'm talking opinion. So it's my opinion that maybe next month they will start reshooting this movie, or maybe a brand new Flash movie starring Dylan O'Brien as the Flash, with not Andy Muschietti as the director and not Christina Hodson as the writer. Surely that probably is a good thing. I think Dylan O'Brien would be an absolutely fantastic Barry Allen and Flash, and a much better Barry Allen and Flash than Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller has publicly been arrested by committing 2 crimes, right? This is public. This can't be disproven. These are facts. We know that Rolling Stone, another respectable publication, exclusively reported that Ezra Miller was having meltdowns and causing problems on the Flash shoot, on the Flash production. It's all making sense, right? And it all makes sense why these delays happened. The delays happened because they had no choice but to cancel the Flash movie and delay it and put it in a date that wasn't an official date. To them, it's an official date. You know, publicly, it's official that it's going to be released in June next year. I don't believe that's what's going to happen. Maybe it will. I don't know. As I say, this is opinion-based. So, you know, it's looking very messy for WB, but it looks like they're trying to fix the situation. So a reminder to people who say, oh, that Screen Geek article was proven to be wrong. It hasn't. A Variety journalist has put out an opinion saying he's led to believe this is not true. He has given no evidence why it's not true, but you're trusting his word because he's Adam B. Vary and he works for Variety. So you're not going to get any official confirmation of this firing, but Warner Brothers Discovery up front's become even more important. Imagine if David Zaslav announces a brand new Flash movie starring Dylan O'Brien or another actor as that character. So I was up all night reaching out to my sources. It's very, very difficult legally to come out and say certain things right now. And that's why I'm basing this video and this live stream and today's DCEU Daily on opinion rather than fact. And as I say, it is my opinion that he has been sacked. It all makes sense that we haven't heard hide nor hair of the director. And it's obvious to me that Ezra Miller is history. I believe it's the right decision to Ezra Miller as the Flash. You can't be doing what he's accused of doing and what he's twice been arrested for doing and get to play this character. So let me disperse a popular myth that it would be so expensive to reshoot a Flash movie or remake this Flash movie, whatever they're planning on doing, so they wouldn't do it. Do you know what would be even more expensive? To release this Flash movie as is, starring Ezra Miller, and to see it being boycotted. Basically, the Flash movie as it is, starring Ezra Miller, will flop. It's going to cost them more money anyway. But if they reassess this movie with a brand new actor or create a different version of this movie for a brand new Discovery DC Extended Universe, they're liable to make more money because Dylan O'Brien is a very popular actor. He's 30 years old, so he's kind of an older Flash, I suppose, but still, it might not be Dylan that ultimately gets this role. Now, don't forget, Screen Geek was saying they are considering, but it looked like from what he says further on in his article, they are now looking at a variety of actors to actually replace Ezra Miller, which means, in my opinion, Ezra Miller has already been dismissed as the Flash. I believe this is the right thing to do because I think it was going to have reshoots anyway because David Zaslav wanted Superman in the movie anyway and didn't want Superman replaced by Supergirl. So there was always going to be changes to that movie and a rewrite of Christina Hodgson's script, not by Christina Hodgson. That, again, I believe is the case. But as I say, Warner Brothers Discovery up France can't come soon enough. So, as I say, I'm actually excited about this. I'm happy about this. And the denials will continue over on Twitter. And what's very sad for me is Snyderverse fans. Now, I love the Snyderverse and I love many Snyderverse fans. It's disappointing to me that they defend Ezra Miller after they know what he did. These are the same people who call Jeff Johns a racist and a problem, call Joss Whedon a racist and a problem, but are quite happy for a violent person to keep their job. I'm very disappointed in you, and I'm very disappointed about that because I don't want my nephews and nieces looking up to a person, let's call him a person, right? Because the they-them thing is very difficult when you're talking in different contexts. So he's a person, right? He still identifies as a human being, not he, they still identify as a human being. He has no right to have the privilege to be an elite mainstream actor. He needs to go away. He needs to get the help that he needs, take several years out of the industry that's clearly hurt him psychologically. I'm not saying that's the industry's fault, but lots of pressure was pulled onto him to make two back-to-back movies, Fantastic Beasts and The Secrets of Dumbledore and the Flash movie. That's pressure for any worker, for any actor. I do my own plays. I write, direct, produce, star in my own plays. That's pressure. Imagine me having to produce two back-to-back plays, in very close, scheduling of each other. I would have a meltdown. And then still trying to do these videos and keep everything else going in my life. I would have a meltdown. So I understand, but I can't excuse his actions. And a lot of people, Michael J. Fox was making Back to the Future 1 and still filming Family Ties. He didn't melt down, right? He made Back to the Future 2 and 3 back to back. Michael didn't melt down. Michael has a condition that ruined his career. He doesn't blame anyone. He goes out there and fights for fundraising, and commentary about his condition. That's the positive way you deal with your problems. That's how people in the industry used to deal with stuff. But unfortunately, people in the industry now are very, very different and are looking for excuses for their terrible actions and behavior while talking down to us, the consumer, about our actions and our behavior. Because we all know none of us are perfect. Fandoms are not perfect. We can be utterly toxic. I have been utterly toxic before. I can't deny that. I'm human. I'm fallible. So is Ezra Miller. But if I did what Ezra did, the theatre company that I work with, not for, but with, would have said, we can't work with you anymore, Mick. We can't. You've been arrested for two, very violent acts, for stalking, this, that, the other. You can't be part of this production. And I would have to say, do you know what? In the cold light of day, I can't. what I've done is wrong. I would do a press conference to the Cypriot public apologizing for what I've done, but I don't want them to think I'm apologizing to keep my job. I would step away. Ezra Miller should publicly do a press conference being honest. That's what a decent human being would do. But he's in hiding. And even though he was arrested once, he went back to Hawaii, committed another crime. And after he committed another crime, he kept on going back to Hawaii. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't care. I have been privately, lots of fans of The Flash have spoken to me privately because they don't feel comfortable coming on my channel or commenting on my Twitter, talking about these things. They will not support The Flash if Ezra Miller is in the movie and plays the character. The movie will flop if he remains in it. Just like Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will flop if Amber Heard isn't removed totally. Rewind the times. I don't all agree with Ezra's behavior. If he came out and apologized, admits his faults and went out and got help, I think people would forgive him. People love a good comeback story, in my opinion. Yes, but that comeback story must be by him not playing the Flash anymore, going away, rewind the times, getting the help he needs, and in 5 or 6 years' time, coming back to the industry. That's the way it's got to be. Even if he apologizes now, it's kind of too late. He should have done this as soon as this stuff came out. People have their opinions. People are very unforgiving these days. This film is going to be boycotted because of him. Many people didn't want him to be the Flash and were looking for excuses in the first place. So I know what you're alluding to, that if he apologizes now, he can still keep the role. No, he's already been sacked, in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong. And it's nothing wrong with being wrong. I'm wrong many times about many things in my private life and in my YouTube life and in my social media life. You know, my position is that I put takes out there from my opinion, and sometimes they're going to be right and sometimes they're going to be wrong. But I have been consistent about the Flash delays and what I think about them. And I've never dialed back that stuff. And I'm sure this week we'll get even more distractions. Another movie announcement, bullshit rumors about a movie, a project that we'll never see anyway. But I'll go back to what I said earlier. Isn't it interesting? Do you know how many articles Scream Movie Geek has put out there in the past? And Variety and Adam B. Very have never responded to it. But this has hit the nail on the head. And I'm sure Adam got a phone call from Toby Emmerich late last night to put something on social media. I believe he was fired, not by Toby Emmerich, not by Warner Brothers Pictures, but by David Zaslav himself and Warner Brothers Discovery, because they're not going to tolerate this shit. It doesn't matter what it means for Restore the Snyderverse. It doesn't matter that they have to maybe remake this movie or reshoot this movie. They might not even remake the movie. It might not even be a thing anymore. We just don't know. But I'm telling you what corner I'm standing with. And I'm standing with the publication Screen Movie Geek because I've spoken to people all last night. That's why. I'm not going to tell you anything else. I'm not going to say anything else about that. I'm doing a video here, a live stream, which some of you may be rewatching right now, didn't get the chance to see live, and that's okay. Hope you're enjoying it. But I can only say what I think and come from the information that's been given to me. But as you know, I've always been consistent that the delays were suspicious and the Black Adam reshoots in the past week are the distraction. They're supposed to distract you about this coming out. I am not fooled. It wouldn't surprise me if The Rock isn't even doing reshoots, that they're just there taking loads of pictures, pretending to do reshoots just to distract us about this very situation. Rewind the times. The Flash movie is going to make tons of money because, in my opinion, of Keaton's return to Batman, I agree Ezra should not be the Flash. People are going to boycott it, Rewind. I know because people have told me they're going to boycott it. It's not going to make loads of money. Michael Keaton cannot save this movie with Ezra Miller. Now, you agree with me that he cannot remain as the Flash, and that's a different situation. Maybe we'll never see Michael Keaton as Batman. Think about this, something I've been going on about, Rewind, for a long time, past 2 weeks. actually since CinemaCon. Is it CinemaCon? Anyway, at CinemaCon, made some announcements. No announcement or a release date about Batgirl. Don't you think that's suspicious, considering Keaton is in that movie as well? Where's the release date for that movie on HBO Max? If I'm so far from the truth, why aren't they talking about Batgirl? Where are the directors? Where is the release date? We were told originally by the producer that this film would be releasing in November or December. That's clearly not going to happen now. And isn't it a coincidence that Michael Keaton is in that movie and he's also in the Flash movie? So I'm giving you the pieces that are there. I'm factually telling you that Andy Muschietti, the Flash director, hasn't posted or reacted to anything that's happened in the past few months. That's suspicious. If I was investigating a murder, this would be a piece of the jigsaw. This would be evidence. That's not me making it up. Go and check his Instagram yourself. There is no release date for Batgirl. Michael Keaton is in Batgirl and the Flash. The irony isn't lost on me. It's all very well going off our biases, but sometimes we have to look at the evidence in front of us. Michael B. Very from Variety didn't do an article. I thought he did. He just quote tweeted his original article about the goings on in Hawaii. Emmanuel Cruz heard the actress was already speaking about Batgirl too. Yes, Emmanuel, she is. But where's the date for Batgirl 1? They probably asked her, will there be a Batgirl 2? And she said, hopefully, or whatever she said. Anyway, Emmanuel Cruz, where is the release date? Why did they not announce a release date on HBO Max for Batgirl at CinemaCon? They announced the Batman for 2024, 2025, whenever we're going to see it. So that's not even this year. That's not even next year we're going to see that movie. But they announced it. Batgirl, they just basically, think about this. They announced a film that hasn't even begun filming yet, but they didn't announce a release date for Batgirl that has completed its production, or it's at least completed its filming. Think about that. As I say, Emmanuel, you've got to take your biases out of the equation. This is what I do on this channel. I've given you the evidence ever since the Flash delays. I will continue to go on Twitter. And when I see these articles or these opinions about Screen Geeks being wrong or lying, I'm going to say I'm standing by that journalist and I'm standing by Screen Movie Geek. I didn't last night when I read the article at first here on Monday Night Live, but I am now after talking to several people. Isn't it interesting, though, that Dylan O'Brien was being rumoured as Dick Grayson? I think that's when Ezra Miller was fired. But, you know, this is an opinion-based platform and everyone has a right to their biases and their opinions. All I can tell you is what I think. And since I've been on this channel since 2018, I've been more right and wrong, but I've taken my wrongs. I've taken my L's. It's fine. It's okay to be wrong. You know, when you put your opinions out there, you've got to be brave and accept that sometimes you're going to be wrong. And people will bring those opinions back and say, you see, you haven't exposed me. I'm happy to be wrong about this. I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy because I don't want him to keep his job anyway. But that's not what this is about. There is a lot of evidence out there if you look carefully. And again, you know, Adam B. Very, did I call him Michael earlier? Never mind. Adam B. Very, the journalist from the Variety. How many times has he ever reacted from a rumour from Screen Movie Geek? Screen Movie Geek compared to Variety is a little ant. But they're all suddenly responding to this article. Why? If it's a lie, why would they even respond to it? It's not even a big deal. You know, he posts loads of articles, right? Why this one? Why are they reacting to this one? Because Screen Movie Geek is telling the fucking truth. That they're considering, or maybe they've already sacked him like I think, but they're considering replacing Ezra Miller with Dylan O'Brien. Maybe he's telling the truth. Why is it that a prostitute that is a witness in a legal trial has bad eyesight? Why is Screen Movie Geek wrong? Because he's a really small platform. Why is he wrong? Think about it. I treated him bad like that on Monday Night Live. And now I'm apologizing to that little publication. I believe you, Screen Movie Geek. I believe you. I believe that Ezra Miller has already been sacked. Because it's interesting that he actually did this after all the dust had already settled on Ezra Miller. Nobody was talking about him anymore. But Screen Movie Geek posted this on a night when no one was talking about it. Everyone's talking about it now. So I believe Screen Movie Geek is telling the truth. What I'm telling you today are my opinions based on the evidence I see around me. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. But this is my opinion. And I'm sticking to that opinion. Rewind the times. I'm thinking they're trying to get their house in order. On May 18th, we will have more clarity. Then hopefully we will about Batgirl. We will know about Batgirl. Rewind the times. If they don't respond to it, then people can say, why isn't WB saying anything? It could go either way. Well, it's interesting. I don't expect them to do an upfront and say we sacked Ezra Miller, but they may announce new casting. I have no idea. We may get nothing interesting at the upfronts, and we may get a whole host of interesting, exciting news. If we get nothing, it's back to the drawing board, and DC isn't going to expand. It isn't going to get any better. And Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Flash movie will flop. Emmanuel Cruz, what happens on May the 18th? On May the 18th, Warner Brothers Discovery are doing their first WB Discovery up front, where they clarify their plans for the future from the new merger and maybe announce some films and things like that. I don't know exactly for sure what's going to happen, but all eyes on this channel will be on that event because it's hugely very important if you love WB and especially if you love DC. So that's what's happening on May the 18th. Very, very exciting. So the headlines today are that there are rumors that WB are considering replacing Ezra Miller with Dylan O'Brien. I believe that Ezra Miller was sacked back in the days when the rumors were going around about Dylan playing Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Robin. Emmanuel Cruz, thank you. You are very welcome. It is my duty to serve you, and I'm quite happy to do so and clarify situations. And what I've done today is clarify my opinion. A, about the rumors of WB considering replacing Ezra Miller with Dylan O'Brien. I have responded by saying, I believe that Ezra Miller has already been removed. Either they won't make another Flash movie, won't do reshoots, or they could be reshooting this movie next month with a brand new director and a brand new actor. Factually, I don't know that for sure, but that is my opinion. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. This has been the DCEU Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. I will see you tonight for Tuesday Night Live. Please don't miss it. Until we see each other again, please subscribe, please like the video, and if you love me that much, rewatch it as many times as you like. Help this platform get out there so I can clarify things like I have done today. There's too many people after access. I'm not after access. The only access I want is from you, my fellow entertainment stands, geeks, and nerds. See you tonight on Tuesday Night Live. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. See you later.